Trigger warning. Some of these videos and photos are very graphic. I am doing this to bring awareness. Let's talk about the death of Shaheen Mackey, caused by Luzerne County Correctional Officers. In June of 2018, when I arrived at the hospital, the doctors were still working on Shaheen Mackey, and I had to wait in a waiting room for hours. When I got to his room, there was 2 guards in there, and he was still handcuffed to the bed, and he looked like this. I was told by the nurse that when Shaheen arrived, they had to bring him back to life, and he had a loss of oxygen to his brain due to asphyxiation. The nurse also stated that she couldn't explain the bruises and would do an investigation, but she can't help because the hospital works with Luzerne County Correctional Facilities. At the time, I didn't understand what that meant, but it was a red flag. The next day, Shaheen kids and the family arrived to the hospital. The doctor showed us and told us that Shaheen was only staying alive due to the machines. In this photo, you can see the cuffs marks that was on Shaheen's wrist. And this is the photo that was taken of Shaheen Mackey's kids holding his hands before he flatlined. After Shaheen flatlined with his kids in a room and holding his hands, we took pictures of Shaheen Mackey's body, and it looked like this. I then called the number that the hospital gave me for an autopsy. You may need to pause and read. It was red flags from the beginning of this case. In this newspaper clip, it states that the situation might be complicated by the fact that Mackey was technically not in custody at the time of his death since the judge had lifted his bail, which meant that they was trying to state that Shaheen Mackey died at the hospital, so Luzerne County Correctional Facility was not responsible for his death. And that was false. Luzerne County Correctional Officers killed Shaheen, and he arrived at the hospital dead, and they brought him back to life. At the time, there was no video that was released, but the autopsy was done, and it was determined that Shaheen Mackey had died of natural causes, according to the District Attorney Salavantis. They continued to try to blame this on Shaheen Mackey and say Shaheen began screaming